Hello everyone, welcome back to the chapter on what is democracy, why democracy. Let us look into the subtopic, why democracy. Here you have a column, one is argument against and one is argument for. Argument against deals with why democracy is not a reliable choice. Argument for deals with why democracy is a reliable choice. Why is it supportive of democracy is what this means. Coming to this column, let's deal first with what is the arguments against democracy. In arguments against democracy, why are some governments against democracy? These are the following reasons. Here, leaders keep changing in a democracy, which leads to instability. This means there's not one constant leader ruling the government. There are multiple leaders, and that leads to instability. Democracy is all about political competition and power play. There's a lot of power involved, monetary power that's involved, and that leads to no scope for morality. So you also would have heard in the previous slides that democracy means rule by the people. Hence, consultation is a must. So consultation of a lot of people is required. So what this point says is too much consultation leads to a lot of delays, and further delays leads to a lot of delay in policy making. Democracy leads to corruption, for it is based on electoral competition. So this is very important as it leads to corruption. Elected leaders do not know the best interest of the people, further leading to bad decisions. Since a lot of competition, political competition, power play is involved, elected leaders do not know the best interest of the people. They avoid the interests of the people, and that leads to further bad decisions. They do not account the decisions of the people ultimately. Let us look into the arguments for democracy. Why certain governments prefer having a democracy. So you would have heard this previous slides that the prerequisite for a democracy is the rulers have to attend to the needs of the people, resulting in more accountability. So democracy is ruled by the people, which means the rulers have to listen to the needs and then account to them and further head to policy making. Democracy improves the quality of decision making in the form of consultations and discussions. Since a lot of people are involved and it's a rule by the people, consultations have to be made, discussions have to be made, opinions have to be accounted to, and that is when it is called a true democracy. When multiple opinions come into the picture, the quality of decision making increases. Democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. Like I said earlier, there are multiple opinions that are involved. Hence, there are differences and there are conflicts, and democracy is a concept that can deal with these two concepts. Democracy enhances the dignity of citizens as it is based on the principle of political equality. Let us go into the next subtopic, why democracy is better comparatively. This means there are some countries which have a democracy, like India. There are some countries which do not have a democracy, that is like North Korea. North Korea has a dictatorship, like you've seen earlier. Comparing with non-democratic governments like China, a democratic government fares better due to the following reasons. Let us look into the reasons. It offers better chances of a good decision because multiple people are consulted, opinions are being taken. It is likely to respect people's own wishes. Notice here, it is likely to respect and allows different kinds of people to live together, which means it's unity in diversity. Even when it fails to do some of these things, it allows a way of correcting its mistakes in the form of public discussion. In this box, you can see a small short story which I will be reading out to you. Rajesh and Muzaffar read an article. It showed that no democracy has ever gone to war with another democracy. Wars take place only when one of the two governments is non-democratic. The article said that this was a great merit of democracy. After reading the essay, Rajesh and Muzaffar had different reactions. Rajesh said that this was not a good argument for democracy. It was just a matter of chance. It's possible that in future democracies may have wars. Muzaffar said that it could not be a matter of chance. Democracies take decisions in such a way that it reduces the chances of war. Which one of the two positions do you agree with and why? Discuss this with a parent in your house or a friend and come to a conclusion. You will definitely make a very good choice because of the slides you've previously read about. Let us go into the broader meanings of democracy. You've seen the features of democracy which deal with the meaning. Let's see the broader meaning. Democracy is also a principle that can be applied to any sphere of life. So it is not just a political sphere you're looking, you can apply to any sphere. Suppose, for example, in your class, you may have a class representative. He is chosen by a process called elections where each one of the class student is able to elect him. So you're taking the opinion of each person. So which means it's a democratic class. Let's consider another example. We are a very democratic family. Whenever a decision has to be taken, we all sit down and arrive at a consensus. My opinion matters as much as my father's. Just like how I gave you the class example, this example deals with a modern democratic family, where everyone's opinion is taken into account. A democratic decision involves consultation with and consent of all those who are affected by that decision. So everyone who is affected by that decision has to give in their opinion, and a democratic decision involves accounting that opinion. Sometimes the word democracy sets up an ideal or reference with which other democracies can be evaluated. For example, let's take the statement. True democracy will come to this country only when no one goes hungry to bed. These ideals remind us why we value democracy. What we do as citizens can make a difference to making our country more or less democratic. So you and me, with our choices, we can make a difference to what kind of a democracy we want in our country. This is the strength and weakness of democracy. The fate of the country depends not just on what the rulers do, but mainly on what we as citizens do. This is the most important concept of democracy because we as citizens choose the rulers we want them to rule the country. This point, the center point, is what mainly differentiates the democratic governments to the non-democratic ones. The fact that democracy depends on active political participation by all the citizens is where the difference lies. So, in the future classes, you will understand what the political participation by all citizens means and how democracy depends on it.